All right. Hashtag howdy from Houston. Hashtag the Property Joes. This is Joe Diasana with Diasana Properties Group. Both Carrie and I give a warm hello out there. This information that we're providing you today is from personal business experience that just recently happened. So if you are trying to sell or purchase a place that is in probate, one of the major challenges is understanding the probate process. So there's two types, and I didn't know this. There's two types of probate. One's independent and the other one's dependent. It's called independent administration and dependent administration. Most of us are familiar with independent, which means there's this will, and then you file it with the court, and then they give you this paper that says you're the executor, right? It's letters of testamentary. They give you this letter, and it says that you now have the legal authority to act on behalf of the estate of the decedent, the person that passed, right? So you go about doing what you need to do, canceling accounts, paying off debts, all that stuff. And then hopefully a year or 2 years from now, which by the way, that's how long it typically takes for most estates. I took care of both of my mom and my dad. For you to finalize everything and make sure you handle every little bit of information, an account and asset that is out there. So on a dependent, so that's independent. On a dependent administration, guess what? The courts are involved. So usually that happens when you have people who are arguing. There's tension with the siblings or tension with the heirs, and one heir is not doing what they're supposed to do, and the other heir is like fighting, and they're all. So you bring in this lawyer, an estate lawyer, and you got to get a good one because those really understand the process, but also have a team in place that can help deal with all the ancillary things that are required. Like, for example, if someone passes and the house is full up with stuff, pack rat, who's going to handle that? Or if one spouse passes and the other spouse is starting to get Alzheimer's, how are you, and there's no other close of kin in town, how are you going to help them get into a nursing home or into another facility that can take care of them through this process? So you got to get with a good estate lawyer who not only knows their stuff, but also has a network. And I have one, by the way, just so you know, David Doring with Doring and Associates. Anyways, so a dependent administration is when the lawyer is hired to handle the dispute with all the heirs, and an executor is appointed, and the court has to make sure that the executor does everything correctly and accounts for everything. So if there's a house and it needs to be fixed up, and he or she spends the time going over there, either doing it themselves or hiring, they have to have an accounting of the time as well, as the money spent. So how does that impact a regular 35-day contract? Forget the date. Absolutely forget the date. We started 14 months ago, and we submitted and went to the courts, and the court accountant or whoever came back and said, nope, I need this, 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 and this. So they provided it. He had to take some time to put it together, and then they sent it over the fence, and they said, nope, we need this, 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 and this. And he had to provide again. And the time between each submission could be 2 months, 4 months, could be longer. Now, near the end of the deal, right? So we were supposed to close last Friday. Well, guess what happens? One of the siblings said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get my money. So what I'm going to do is file an heirship affidavit proving that I'm the heir. Well, unfortunately for him, the executor was already assigned, and they had the final court order that says so-and-so has the right, just like an independent, but you had to have the approval of the court. The final person is so-and-so. Well, did you know that some title companies are super conservative and they don't want to get involved with that, while others understand that the court order supersedes any heirship affidavit that's filed at the last? Who knows about this? Who like like first of all, how does a I don't understand how it's overlooked, and some title attorneys won't deal with it, and others say we understand the process and legally this person is the executor and no other claims goes against it, so we'll go ahead and insure and close. That was the last Friday it was supposed to close. That was Thursday. Before the Friday we're supposed to close, we found out we can't close. So can you imagine being a buyer who has a loan on this property? It takes them 13 months, 12 and a half months just to get to this point to be told, nope, the title company won't do it because at the last minute, I mean, they closed the week prior, they could have done it, but it's a hot mess, hot mess. So number one, have a great attorney, a state attorney who has a posse, a group of people that can handle all the ancillary issues, and then make sure you have an agent like myself who understands the process, who understands the differences, and has a network that they can tap into to resolve any transactional issues that have nothing to do with the court. So that is your thoughts for the day. Make sure you hire a good professional. Ciao.